This project is so simple, and I would have spray painted these, but the humidity where I live this time of year is the worst to wait for paint to dry. So we're going to paint it in my craft room. But the Dollar Tree has these stacking boxes, and then they have some ribbon. I didn't end up using those fleur-de-lis cabochons. I was thinking about it, but I decided not to. So I'm going with this beautiful, I would almost say like a military green. I love this color. I've always loved this color. We have a lot of people who have served in armed forces in my family, and so I think this color is really pretty when you pair it with the right things. So I'm going to just paint all the boxes. I did 2 coats of paint. I let it go off to the side to dry, and now I'm going to move on to another project. I'm going to be using these stamps from the Dollar Tree. I've mentioned this before. The Dollar Tree stamps have a film on them, and you have to sand them before you use them. And it sounds like you're going to ruin your stamps, but I promise you're not. It takes off that residue, that film on the top of your stamps when they're made and manufactured. So if you just sand them, you will get a much cleaner image when you go to stamp. Now you can see that I stamped on ribbon. I stamped 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to cut down the ribbon, because we're going to be able to fray it and make it look very farmhouse. So I'm just getting as close as I can to the stamped letters without cutting anything off, and also still leaving just a little bit of an edge at the top and bottom. Once I've got that first one done, I'm going over the other words and I'm going to cut those down, and then I'm going to fray the edges once I know the length that I need for the boxes. And you can just see here that I'm just simply scratching at the fibers, pulling back a little bit, and then I'm going to glue them down. There is something about this that just reminds me of, like, I don't know, the 1940s. I have this war box that was my papa's, and I have had it since I was a teenager, and it's this color and the burlap. I don't know why, but I just love this project, and it feels very farmhouse to me. So now I'm going to come in with some gold brads. I thought about using some larger ones first, but then I found these teeny tiny ones, and I just love the way they looked. So I'm going to come in with my craft knife. I'm going to poke some holes, and then I'm going to push the brads in, and on the back side of the box I'm going to open them up to lock them into place. Isn't this turning out so cute? And all these are just stacking boxes. You can pretty much use them however you want, but I'm going for a decor piece, so I'm going to stack mine and lock them into place, because I have a very specific place I want to use these in my home. So I'm going to just add some hot glue in between the boxes. I'm kind of staggering them where they look like they're twisting and turning a little bit. I'm coming in with this beautiful ticking stripe ribbon that's like the same color of the paint. I'm going to tie a knot first, so then I can come in with the bow much easier and not having to struggle with the tension of the box. Once it's all tied, I cut off the extra, and it's ready to display in your home, and it is the most beautiful farmhouse decor piece that is so easy to make. Our supplies are going to be this terracotta pot from the Dollar Tree, this little bird's nest that I get from Amazon, I'll link it down below, some foam, this egg that was originally a teal color but I spray painted it cream, it's from the Dollar Tree, and they're set of 6 eggs that are colorful, a craft stick from the Dollar Tree, and then a little finial that I get from Hobby Lobby. I started by wetting my paintbrush with a lot of white paint, and I'm going to just roughly go around the pot splotchy. As my paintbrush starts to dry because the paint is coming off, it is now going to allow me to get that weathered look. You can see that I splotched it around in those in-between spaces. That's where I'm blending in the paint, and I'm going to do that until I get all the way to the end of my paintbrush getting dry, and we're going to have the perfect farmhouse weathered looking pot. Once that's dried, we're going to go ahead and move on to the foam. I'm adding on E6000 first and then hot glue. The E6000 is going to bond better to the pot, but the hot glue will bond it temporarily. I'm going to take this craft stick, poke it through the nest, poke it down into the foam, and then I'm going to lift it up and glue it all together once I know that everything's going to fit on here nicely. Now this is not a normal craft project you would see. Why is there a stick coming out of the bird's nest? I just loved the way it looked, where it had this stick with a finial on top. I thought this was going to be so cute, a little bit different for decor, and it's going to look so beautiful next to a lamp in my sunroom. I just liked the way that it looked. I don't know. I thought it was cute. Maybe it's a little bit different for some people, but I like the way this looks. So you can leave the stick out if you don't like that idea. But I'm taking my egg. I'm going to use the tip of my hot glue to make the hole a little bit bigger. I want to get the glue inside the egg and then also all around the bottom of the egg. That's going to really lock it down into the nest. For the very top of the craft stick, after I've trimmed it down, I added a little dot of hot glue, and then I added glue inside of the finial topper. You can see here I'm letting it sit for a minute before I put it on, because when the hot glue is too hot, it's just going to run straight down that stick. If I let it cool for a second or two, it's going to allow it to bond nicely without everything dripping everywhere. Once that was glued on, I now can move on to dressing up the stick, and I'm going to just tie a darling sweet little white bow. This ribbon is from the Dollar Tree. Once I've gotten it to the length that I liked, I left the tails really long. I love that they were kind of coming down that pole, going into the nest. To finish the look, I added a tiny button that is green right in the middle of that bow. Now it's time for a really simple project, because not every project needs to be difficult. I'm going to be taking this cloche that I get from IKEA, and I'm going to show you how to decorate these cloche jars. They are so pretty, and you can put anything in them, but one of my favorite things to put in them, is the easiest way to decorate them, is taking some papers from an old book. I just get books from the Dollar Tree and just make them look old by distressing the paper a little bit. You're going to cut it down to size, scroll it up, and then take some twine. Wrap it around it, do a double knot, and I definitely recommend making these in different sizes, some that are shorter, some that are longer, some that are wider, and then just take them and put them inside of the cloche. Fill it up with a whole bunch of different scrolled papers. This is the cutest decor to put on a bookshelf, on a fireplace, on a coffee table. I love this decor piece. This is something that's super quick, and it looks so outstanding as decor. I love when I have leftovers from a previous project. These are the frames that are left over from my galvanized awning decor piece that I made. And I am going to take these frames apart. I had one extra that I needed for this project. And I'm going to be using the backer. I'm ripping off the little leg support and the sticker. And I'm going to be using the backing and the frame. I am just simply adding some glue, and I got a piece of scrapbook paper that I liked. I wanted to go with something really neutral that I can keep up year round. I'm going to glue it to the scrapbook paper and then trim around it nice and tight. And I'm going to do that 4 times for all the different backers. Then I popped them back into the frame and I locked them in. And at this point, you'll have 4 different frames. Make sure your pattern of your paper is facing the right directions when you go to glue them together. Add a little bit of glue around the side and hold that in place to dry. And then I take them at this point 1 frame at a time instead of doing 2 and 2 and bringing them together. Sometimes that can throw off the dimensions of the frames coming together nicely. So you can see that I did the 3rd one, and now I'm bringing in the 4th one. And I'm just lining them all up nicely, gluing them in place. This is the easiest project, and it has such a high impact. So beautiful. Glue those all together nice and tight. And then we're going to create some support to it so they don't break apart. I do not like things breaking apart in my home when I craft them. I'm using these thicker craft sticks. I'm going to add some glue, zigzagging back and forth so it really gets on both sides of those frames. And then I'm going to push that down into the glue. This is going to lock them in so it doesn't break apart if it were to fall by some chance. Now I want to make sure I support the other direction, but the sticks are a little too long, so I trimmed them down. And then I'm just going to lay that right into the glue again. Now at this point, you can put a piece of rope or something on the back, but I wanted to make it special, so I tied a bow with long tails. I'm going to add the tiniest bit of glue into all the hidden joints of the bow. The bow is going to become the hanging point of the frame, which is going to look so pretty on a wall. I'm just opening up the bow right where the knot is and adding the tiniest bit of glue so the bow doesn't come untied on you. It'll allow it to be able to be hung up forever without it having any issues. And I definitely recommend a wired bow because it really does help bring the structure to the bow. Then you're going to figure out your length that you want your hanging up bow to be. Make your trim, nice straight line across, and we're going to glue it into place. Make sure you use a lot of glue and make sure your bow is straight. That is a very important thing because when you go to hang it up, it can look crooked. So I'm just adding on that glue, and I could stop there, but I really want to reinforce it. So I'm going to add some more glue and another scrap piece of this popsicle thicker stick. I'm going to glue that right on top of it so it really locks it in there. Now let's clean up the back because I just can't stand how the back looks. Even though it's going to be up against a wall, I like things to look finished. So I'm taking a piece of drop cloth fabric. I traced the size around on the cloth from the frame. I'm going to trim that out, and then one more spot to reinforce that bow. At the top point of the bow, I glued it to the edge of that frame, and now I'm coming in around to really lock that bow into place and to bring in that fabric to clean up the back. This is going to have a nice store finish on the back. And yes, it's an extra step, but I just love how it's finished on the back side. And for the front, you can decide to decorate with whatever you want. I went with a simple green wreath. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. It has been such a treat being here on YouTube and sharing my crafting ideas with all of you. I know that you don't have time to make every single craft, but the thing I love to try to teach in each of these videos is a new technique or a new skill that you can try in your own craft rooms. So whether you try these projects or not today, I hope you felt inspired to make something beautiful for your own home. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you missed this video the other day, I would appreciate it if you went back and watched it. I have quite a few new videos here on my channel. Head on over to my gallery or click this video here. And until the next episode, bye friends.